Good morning to everybody. Today I will going to explain about 2023 NEET botany paper. First bit, among eukaryotes, replication of DNA takes place in option S phase, G1 phase, G2 phase, M phase. S phase. Answer is yes phase. Cellulose does not form blue color with iodine because what is the reason behind it? It does not contain complex helix and hence cannot hold iodine molecules. Next objective. In gene gun method, used to introduce alien DNA into host cells, microparticles of dash metal are used, tungsten and gold. What is the function of tassels in the corn cob? To trap pollen grains. Tassels are for trap pollen grains. And here they gave two statements, right? Assertion and reason. Assertion is late wood has fewer ciliary elements with narrow vessels and the cadmium is less active in winter. Both the statements are right. Assertion and reason are right. So late wood has fewer ciliary elements with narrow vessels. Cadmium is less active in winter. So the next, the historic convention on biological diversity, the Earth Summit was held in Rio de Janeiro in the year 1992. What is the role of DNA polymerase 3 in the process of transcription in eukaryotes? Transcription of tRNA, 5S rRNA and small nucleolar RNA. Identify the pair of heterosporous pteridophytes among the following. Option A, Selaginella and Salvinia. Option B, Coleotum and Salvinia. Option C, Equisetum and Salvinia. Option D, Lycopodium and Selaginella. Selaginella and Salvinia are examples of heterosporous pteridophytes. And given below are two statements. Statement 1. The forces generated by transpiration can lift a xylem sized column of water over 130 meters height. Statement 2. Transpiration cools leaf surface sometimes 10 to 15 degrees by evaporating cooling. Both statement 1 and statement 2 are correct. The reaction center in PS2 has an absorption maxima at 680 nanometers. Among the evil quartet, which one is considered the most important cause driving extinction of species? Option 1, overexploitation for economic gain. Option B, alien species invagination. Option C, coexistence. Option D, habitat loss and fragmentation. Habitat loss and fragmentation is the answer for that. And which of the following stages of meiosis involves division of centromere? Anaphase 2. Spraying of which of the following phytohormone on juvenile conifers helps in hastening the maturity period, which leads to early seed production? Option A, gibberellic acid. Option B, geotin. Option C, abscisic acid. Option D, indole 3, butyric acid. Which option is right? Gibberellic acid. Gibberellic acid. Identify the correct statements. Statement 1. Detrivorous perform fragmentation. Option B. The humus is further degraded by some microbes during mineralization. Option C. Water soluble inorganic nutrients go down into the soil and get precipitated by a process called leaching. Option D. The detritus food chain begins with living organisms. Option E. Earthworms break down detritus into smaller particles by a process called catabolism. Which options are right? A, B, C statements are right. So the next, which micronutrient is required for splitting of water molecule during photosynthesis? Manganese. Manganese. Large, colorful, fragrant flowers with nectar are seen in insect pollinated plants. Movement and accumulation of ions across a membrane against their concentration gradient can be explained by facilitated diffusion. The thickness of ozone in a column of air in the atmosphere is measured in terms of Dobson units. Upon exposure to UV radiation, DNA stained with ethidium bromide will show bright orange color bands. Unequivocal proof that DNA is the genetic material was first proposed by Alfred Hershey and Martha Chase. In tissue culture experiments, leaf mesophyll cells are put in a culture medium to form callus. This phenomena may be called as de-differentiation. Given below are two statements. One is labeled as assertion A and the other is labeled as assertion R. Assertion A. ATP is used at two steps in glycolysis. Assertion R. First, ATP is used in converting glucose into glucose 6 phosphate, and second, ATP is used in conversion of fructose 6 phosphate into fructose 1 6 bisphosphate. In the light of the above statements, choose the correct answer. Both A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. The next, the process of appearance of recombination nodules occurs at which substage of the prophase 1 in meiosis? Pocketine. In the equation GPP minus R equal to NPP, GPP is gross primary productivity, NPP is net primary productivity, or is here is respiratory loss. The phenomenon of leiotrophism refers to leiotrophism, a single gene affecting multiple phenotypic expressions. A single gene affecting multiple phenotypic expressions. During the purification process for recombinant DNA technology, addition of chilled ethanol precipitates out DNA. In angiosperms, the haploid, diploid, and triploid structures of a fertilized embryo sac sequentially are synergids, zygote, and primary endospermic nucleus. Axial presentation is observed in China rose, petunia, and lemon. Which hormone promotes internode and petiole elongation in deep water rice plants? Ethylene. Given below are the two statements. So one is labeled as assertion and the other is labeled as reason. Assertion A. The first stage of gametophyte in the life cycle of moss is protonema stage. Protonema develops directly from spores produced in capsule. Both A and R are correct. R is the correct explanation of A. Frequency of recombination between gene pairs on same chromosome as a measure of the distance between genes to map their position on chromosomes was used for the first time by Alfred Sturtevant. Family Fabaceae differ from Solanaceae and Liliaceae with respect to the stamens. Pick out the characteristic specific to the family Fabaceae but not found in the Solanaceae or Liliaceae. Diadelphus and Dithecus anthus. How many ATP and NADPH2 are required for the synthesis of one molecule of glucose during Kelvin cycle? 18 ATP and 12 NADPH2. Expressed sequence tags refers to all genes that are expressed as RNA. Given below are two statements. Statement 1. Endarch and exarch are the terms often used for describing the position of secondary xylem in the plant body. Statement 2. Exarch condition is the most common feature of the root system. Statement 1 is incorrect, but statement 2 is correct. Which of the following combination is required for chemiosmosis? Membrane, proton pump, proton gradient, ATP synthase. How many different proteins does the ribosome consist of? 80 different proteins. Given below are the two statements. One is labeled as assertion A and the other is labeled as reason R. Assertion A. A flower is defined as modified shoot wherein the shoot apical meristem changes to floral meristem. Reason R. Internode of the shoot gets condensed to produce different floral appendages laterally at successive nodes instead of leaves. Both A and R are true. R is the correct explanation of A. Match the following. M phase, equational division. G2 phase, proteins are synthesized. Quiescent stage, inactive phase. G1 phase, interval between mitosis and initiation of DNA replication. Main steps in the formation of recombinant DNA are given below. Arrange these steps in a correct sequence. What is the correct sequence? Cutting of DNA at specific location by restriction enzymes. Isolation of desired DNA fragment. Amplification of gene of interest using PCR. Insertion of recombinant DNA into the host cell. Given below are the two statements. Statement 1. Gauss competitive exclusion principle stated that two closely related species competing for the same resources cannot coexist indefinitely, and the competitively inferior one will be eliminated eventually. Statement 2. In general, carnivores are more adversely affected by competition than herbivores. Statement 1 is true, but statement 2 is false. Next, match the following. Cohesion. Cohesion means mutual attraction among water molecules. Adhesion, attraction towards polar surfaces. Surface tension, more attraction in liquid phase. Guttation, water loss in liquid phase. Malonate inhibits the growth of pathogenic bacteria by inhibiting the activity of succinic dehydrogenase. Oxidative decarboxylation. Oxidative decarboxylation, pyruvate dehydrogenase. Glycolysis, EMP pathway. Oxidative phosphorylation, electron transport system. Tricarboxylic acid cycle, citrate synthase. Which of the following statements are correct about Klinefelter syndrome? This disorder was first described by Langdon Down 1866. Such an individual has overall masculine development. However, the feminine development is also expressed. The effective individual is short started and physical, psychomotor, and mental development is retarded. Such individuals are sterile. The correct statements are such an individual has overall masculine development, however, the feminine development is also expressed, and such individuals are sterile. And which one of the following statement is not correct? Algal blooms caused by excess of organic matter in water improves water quality and promote fishes. Second option is water hyacinth grows abundantly in eutrophic water bodies and leads to an imbalance in the ecosystem dynamics of the water body. Third statement is the amount of some toxic substances of the industrial wastewater increases in the organisms at successive trophic levels. And fourth statement is the microorganisms involved in biodegradation of organic matter in a sewage polluted water body consume a lot of oxygen, causing the death of aquatic organisms. So which statement is right? Which statement is not right? Not correct. Which statement is not correct here? Algal blooms caused by excess of organic matter in water improves water quality and promote fishes is the wrong statement. Right, given below are the two statements. One is labeled as assertion A, another is reason R. Assertion: in gymnosperms, the pollen grains are released from the microsporangium and carried by air currents. Reason R: Air currents carry the pollen grains to the mouth of the archegonia, where the male gametes are discharged and pollen tube is not formed. A is true or is false. Match the following. Iron. Iron is essential for activator of catalase. Zinc. Synthesis of oxygen. Boron. Cell elongation and differentiation. Molybdenum. Component of nitrate reductase. Next match the following. Mutualism. Mutualism. Plus A plus B. Commensalism. Plus A 0 B. Emmensalism. Minus A 0 B. Parasitism. Plus A minus B. Identify the correct statements. First statement, lenticels are the lens-shaped openings permitting the exchanging of gases. Bark formed early in the season is called as hard bark. Bark is a technical term that refers to all tissues exterior to vascular cambium. Bark refers to periderm and secondary phloem. Phyllogen is single layered in thickness. And here correct statements are A and D. What are them? Lenticels are the lens-shaped openings permitting the exchanging of gases. Bark refers to periderm and secondary phloem.